Ever feel like no matter what you do, it's never enough for your wife? Like you're constantly walking on eggshells, blamed for everything, and yet she plays the perfect partner in front of others? You might be dealing with a narcissistic wife. Today we'll expose 10 shocking ways a narcissistic wife treats her husband, so you can recognize the signs and protect yourself. Let's dive in. In a healthy relationship, both partners appreciate and support each other. However, a narcissistic wife often takes a different approach, one that revolves around constant criticism and blame. No matter how much effort her husband puts in, it never seems to meet her expectations. She may nitpick even the smallest details, turning minor mistakes into major faults. If he tries to do something thoughtful, she might dismiss it as not good enough or compare it to something better someone else did. Over time, this constant criticism can make him question his abilities and self-worth. Instead of acknowledging his efforts, she shifts blame onto him, making him responsible for everything that goes wrong. If she forgets something, he should have reminded her. If she's in a bad mood, he must have done something to upset her. This pattern creates an emotional imbalance where he feels like he's always at fault even when he isn't. Her words and actions may seem small at first, but over time, they can lead to deep emotional exhaustion. He may start doubting himself, walking on eggshells, and constantly seeking validation, only to be met with more disapproval. This cycle of blame and criticism isn't just frustrating, it's emotionally draining. Recognizing this pattern is the first step to understanding that the issue isn't with him, it's with the unrealistic and ever-changing expectations placed upon him. Emotional manipulation, turning the tables to stay in control. In a healthy relationship, communication and understanding are key, but with a narcissistic wife, emotional manipulation becomes a tool to maintain control. She plays subtle mind games, making her husband feel guilty for things that aren't his fault, ultimately pressuring him into doing things her way. One of the most common tactics she uses is guilt tripping. If he disagrees with her or sets boundaries, she might say things like, "After everything I've done for you, this is how you treat me," or "You don't really care about me if you won't do this." These statements shift the focus away from the actual issue and place all the responsibility on him. She also positions herself as the victim, even when she is the one causing the problem. If he brings up concerns about her behavior, she may twist the conversation to make it seem like she is the one who has been hurt. Over time, he starts doubting his own feelings and perspectives, constantly second-guessing himself to avoid conflict. This kind of emotional manipulation is exhausting and confusing. It creates a one-sided dynamic where his needs and feelings are overlooked, while she maintains control. Recognizing these tactics is essential, as awareness is the first step toward breaking free from unhealthy emotional patterns and reclaiming a sense of balance in the relationship. Lack of empathy, when his feelings don't matter. A healthy relationship is built on mutual care and emotional support. However, a narcissistic wife often lacks empathy, dismissing her husband's emotions and needs without a second thought. Instead of offering comfort or understanding, she minimizes his struggles, making him feel as if his feelings are unimportant. If he expresses stress, sadness, or frustration, she may respond with indifference or even annoyance. Phrases like "you're overreacting" or "you're too sensitive" make him question his own emotions. Instead of acknowledging his feelings, she may turn the conversation back to herself, making it about her own experiences or problems rather than listening to him. When he needs emotional support, she might ignore him or belittle his concerns. If he comes home after a long, exhausting day, rather than showing kindness or understanding, she might criticize him for not doing enough around the house. His well-being is rarely a priority, and any emotional vulnerability he shows is dismissed rather than supported. Over time, this lack of empathy can make him feel lonely and emotionally drained. He may start bottling up his feelings, knowing that sharing them won't lead to any real support. A relationship without empathy creates distance, making true emotional connection nearly impossible. Recognizing this pattern is crucial for anyone feeling unheard and unvalued, as emotional support should always be a two-way street. Control and domination, when his choices aren't his own. A healthy relationship is built on mutual respect and freedom, where both partners have the space to make their own decisions. However, in a relationship with a narcissistic wife, control becomes a central theme. She dictates his choices, who he meets, what he wears, and even how he thinks, leaving him feeling powerless. At first, her control may appear as concern or guidance. She might suggest what clothes he should wear or who he should spend time with. But over time, these suggestions turn into demands. If he makes a decision she doesn't approve of, she might criticize, guilt trip, or even punish him with silent treatment. She may also isolate him from friends and family, making him feel like he has no support system. If he wants to meet a friend, she might say, "Why do you need to see them? Am I not enough?" Over time, he may stop making his own choices just to avoid conflict. Even his thoughts and opinions might not be his own anymore. If he disagrees with her, she may dismiss his perspective or make him feel unintelligent for thinking differently. Slowly, he starts doubting himself and loses confidence in his ability to make decisions. A loving relationship should empower both partners, not strip one of their independence. Recognizing control tactics is the first step toward regaining personal freedom and self-worth. Gaslighting, when reality feels like an illusion. Gaslighting is one of the most subtle yet damaging forms of emotional manipulation. A narcissistic wife might twist reality, making her husband doubt his own memory and perception until he questions his own sanity. Over time, he may struggle to trust himself, feeling lost and confused. It often starts with small denial. If he recalls an event one way, she insists it never happened or happened differently. She may say, "You're imagining things," or "You always exaggerate." At first, he might brush it off, but as it continues, he begins to second-guess his own memory. She may also shift blame, making him feel responsible for things that weren't his fault. If he confronts her about something hurtful she said, she might respond with, "I never said that. You're being too sensitive." This makes him question whether he misunderstood the situation. Over time, gaslighting erodes his confidence. He might apologize for things he didn't do or rely on her version of events instead of his own. He becomes hesitant to speak up, fearing that he might be wrong. In a healthy relationship, both partners validate each other's feelings and experience. Gaslighting, however, undermines trust and emotional security. Recognizing these tactics is crucial in reclaiming self-trust and understanding that his thoughts and emotions are valid. Silent treatment and punishment, when silence becomes a weapon. In a healthy relationship, communication is the key to resolving disagreements. But for a narcissistic wife, silence isn't just the absence of words, it's a tool for control. If things don't go her way, she may suddenly shut down, ignore her husband, or withdraw affection to manipulate his behavior. This silent treatment isn't about taking space to cool off. Instead, it's designed to make him feel anxious, guilty, and desperate for her approval. He may find himself repeatedly apologizing, even when he hasn't done anything wrong, just to restore peace. Over time, he learns that the only way to avoid her cold withdrawal is to comply with her demand. Beyond emotional withdrawal, she might also use passive-aggressive tactics, like refusing to engage in meaningful conversations, rolling her eyes, or giving short dismissive responses. The unspoken message is clear: "You displeased me, and now you must earn back my affection." This cycle creates emotional exhaustion. He starts to feel like he's walking on eggshells, always fearing the next moment of rejection. Love should never feel conditional or used as a reward for obedience. True emotional connection is built on mutual respect, not punishment. Recognizing the silent treatment for what it is, manipulation, can be the first step toward breaking free from its grip and rebuilding confidence in one's own emotions and worth. Public and private humiliation. When love turns into embarrassment, a loving relationship should be a place of mutual respect and support. But when a narcissistic wife uses humiliation as a tool, her husband may feel belittled, both in public and in private. In social settings, she might make sarcastic remarks about him, mock his achievements, or correct him in a condescending way, often disguised as just joking. If he expresses discomfort, she may dismiss his feelings, saying he's too sensitive or can't take a joke. Over time, these subtle put-downs chip away at his confidence, making him hesitant to speak up or express himself. At home, the humiliation can be even more damaging. She may criticize him over small mistakes, compare him to others, or remind him of past failure. Instead of offering support or encouragement, she points out his flaws, making him feel unworthy. The worst part, these moments often happen when he is most vulnerable, turning the home where he should feel safe into an emotional battlefield. This type of behavior isn't about harmless teasing, it's a form of control. By making him feel small, she ensures he remains dependent on her approval. But true love doesn't thrive in an environment of shame. Recognizing these patterns is the first step in setting boundaries and rebuilding self-worth. Respect and kindness should be the foundation of any partnership, not fear of humiliation. Financial control. When money becomes a tool for power. In a healthy relationship, financial decisions are made together with trust and mutual understanding. But when a narcissistic wife uses money as a tool for control, it can leave her husband feeling powerless and trapped. One way she exerts control is through excessive spending. She may make large financial decisions without consulting him, draining their savings on things that benefit her, while disregarding the family's financial well-being. If he questions these choices, she may dismiss his concerns or accuse him of being controlling. This reckless behavior can leave him constantly stressed, trying to manage the fallout of poor financial decisions he had no say in. On the other hand, she may restrict his access to money, limiting his financial independence. She might insist on controlling all bank accounts, monitoring his spending, or even giving him a small allowance while keeping the majority of their finances under her control. If he needs money for something important, she may make him beg for it or justify every expense, making him feel like a child rather than an equal partner. Financial control isn't just about money, it's about power. By keeping him financially dependent, she ensures that leaving the relationship or making independent choices feels impossible. Recognizing these tactics is the first step in reclaiming financial freedom and establishing a partnership based on trust, respect, and shared responsibility. Playing the perfect partner in public, a double life. To friends, family, and even strangers, she appears to be the perfect wife, kind, supportive, and deeply in love with her husband. She showers him with compliments in public, holds his hand, and speaks about their relationship as if it's picture perfect. People admire her charm, believing she is a caring and devoted partner. But behind closed doors, the reality is far different. The warmth and affection vanish, replaced by coldness, criticism, or even emotional neglect. She may ignore his needs, dismiss his feelings, or treat him with indifference. Conversations often turn into arguments, and any attempt to express concerns is met with defensiveness or blame. This drastic contrast between her public and private behavior can leave him feeling confused and isolated. If he tries to speak up, others may not believe him because they've only seen her loving, charismatic side. He may even begin to question his own experiences, wondering if he's overreacting. This manipulation serves a purpose. It protects her image while making it difficult for him to seek help. The more she maintains this illusion, the harder it becomes for him to explain the truth to others. Recognizing this pattern is crucial. A healthy relationship is consistent, with love and respect present in both public and private moments, not just when others are watching. Never admitting fault, the blame always falls on him. In a healthy relationship, both partners take responsibility for their actions. But with a narcissistic wife, admitting fault is never an option. No matter the situation, she finds a way to shift the blame onto her husband. If he points out something she did wrong, she immediately turns the conversation around, making him feel guilty instead. Even when the evidence is clear, she refuses to acknowledge her mistakes. Instead of apologizing, she justifies her actions, makes excuses, or brings up his past faults to divert attention. Over time, this pattern leaves him feeling exhausted, questioning his own judgment, and even wondering if he is the one at fault. When conflicts arise, instead of working towards a solution, she focuses on proving herself right. If he tries to express his hurt, she dismisses it as overreacting or being too sensitive. This behavior makes healthy communication impossible, because every disagreement turns into a battle where she must always win. As a result, he may start avoiding confrontation altogether, walking on eggshells just to keep the peace. But a strong relationship requires accountability from both sides. Growth happens when both partners can acknowledge mistakes,
learn from them, and move forward together. Recognizing this unhealthy dynamic is the first step toward creating a space where respect, honesty, and mutual understanding can thrive. Understanding these behaviors is the first step toward breaking free from their impact. A narcissistic relationship can leave a person feeling powerless, but awareness brings clarity. If you recognize these patterns, it's time to set boundaries, prioritize your well-being, and seek support. Healthy relationships are built on mutual respect, understanding, and emotional security. No one deserves to feel controlled, belittled, or unheard. The more you educate yourself, the stronger you become in reclaiming your confidence and happiness. Remember, change starts with awareness, and you have the power to create a healthier, more fulfilling life.